woman, and not just a woman, as a Black Muslim woman. Hey guys, welcome back. Yay. Okay. Whoa. Jinx it. Anyway, so today's topic is actually a very good topic. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, like we said before.
And if you're not new here,
Hi, welcome back. And today's topic is is it controversial?
I think it's
I think it
controversial.
is. Do Muslim women really need education?
Do we?
And education, I'm talking about broadly every education. Do we need Western education? Do we need religious education? Do we need any education in itself? And why do you think we need education? And your reasons why? So it's a very, very, very controversial topic.
I don't think it's just women in Islam. I think generally women need education
in itself. And we are gonna speak on behalf of Muslim women in our society, and as a woman, and not just a woman, as a Black Muslim woman. So yeah, we are gonna speak about it in general.
I feel like especially as a Black Muslim woman, when you say that, is these two category of women did actually were denied of education in any aspect.
Yeah.
Black women were denied education. Muslim women were denied education.
Woman was denied education. It just came with a level.
Yeah.
So if a person who has all the characters,
imagine that
the lack of education.
We bore that.
Like you come from just being a woman. So you lack education for just being a woman. You lack education from just being black. Then you lack education for being Muslim. So yeah. And let's just start by the whole concept about Muslim women in general, and why as Muslim women need education in itself.
Yeah.
It's very sad in our society in this day on earth.
In this time of day, in this day on earth.
That we come to a point that we do not allow our ladies or our women in our community to get the education they deserve. And they justify it by saying that we don't need of it. And it's very hard to not ask the question why. And that is the most major thing that we've talked about, like why we as Muslim women need to ask the question why in everything that we're told to do. Back in the days when we were in madrasa, we studied madrasa for a really long time.
Since we were babies.
Yeah, since we were like very young. We studied madrasa since we were like 6 years old. Up to like
senior
high there, and we were like, yeah,
the same.
We don't want to study. And it didn't come because,
not because we didn't like studying our religion.
And I think most of the people that know us, they know that we like research and everything.
Yeah, but we're really deep thinkers.
Yeah, so it did not come to the place of we didn't want education because, oh my God, it came from plenty. It came from right center education. So I was so tired. No, we don't want education. No, it came to a point that every single time we go to the never level, the curriculum is never changed.
It was a repetition of what we used to learn, and until it felt like it was purposely put there.
Yeah, we came to a point that we're like, nah, this thing is not education at itself. It was like brainwash at itself. It came to, we felt like we were just told to know what they wanted us to know, but not what we were supposed to know
as Muslim women.
And no one cannot argue otherwise. No one can come here and tell us, no, you guys are preaching propaganda. It's not propaganda because we lived. And I'm not saying that they came and told us something that it was against, it was not in Islam.
No,
they were telling us bits of what Islam was telling us, not the full story about Islam. They will come take this one ayah and they're going to tell us that ayah. And then you're like, okay, so where's the rest of it? Yeah. And let us not deny that this is something that is happening in our community, in our society, with the whole thing of, well, it's Islam, nothing like that can happen. let's go back to the last video. We said it's not Islam that is the problem, it's
It's
the
the
Muslims
men,
men that is the problem. It's
not
the
the Muslim men actually.
it's the Muslims that are actually the problem. So when we went in madrasa, we came to a point that every single time the same curriculum with the same topic and the same topic, we now reach the level like we're now adults, we're teenagers,
We
we're
asking
we're asking these
questions.
major questions for like why are we told to do the way we are told to do, and we are just being given this statement like, oh, you should not question Islam, just believe and follow
What you're told
what
to
you're
do.
told to do.
And funny thing is, if you were like both of the genders were told to the same thing, it would have been reasonable.
Yeah,
But the way I say it, it found it was so it came and looked so targeted to a specific group because our Muslim brothers in our community were not given the same thing. When it comes to education, they were given the highest rank. Let's
yeah,
say they were given everything, the package itself.
full package.
But when it comes to Muslim women, most of the time they never gave us like um attention, the right attention at itself. And and funny thing, when you come and bring it up and be like, oh no, we actually want more from what we are learning from, or what we want to learn more from what we are learning from. Yeah, but they will come and twist the statement, right? And be like, you guys are not actually giving it all when it comes
Yeah,
to studying. Like, I get it, you guys want education, but when you're told to come, some of you come a bit late, or
and
some of you don't show up on
yeah,
some days.
and then it's funny that it's not our fault
Yeah.
that it comes to a point that we can't we come to madrasa late or we come to school late. It's because you don't
You can compare
you
the
can compare
responsibility
the responsibility that we women in our home are facing compared to our brothers home. Our brothers just wake up in the morning,
brush their
they
teeth.
brush their teeth, and they're on their way. But some of us have parents that we have house chores that pile up and up and up. You expect that child to come in 7 in the morning and to leave 5 in the evening, and in that middle he's the so you can't compare the responsibilities that we have as ladies, as ladies in our homes. Boys just wake up in the morning and they brush their teeth and they are on their way home.
And funny thing, not just brush their teeth. When you see like, oh, they can wake up early and go to madrasa and they don't have anything to do, you forget that they actually even slept earlier.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have anything to do too.
The funny thing is we have to wake up early and we are supposed to sleep late. That hinders us from trying to go to the education. And rather than telling our family to actually emphasize in the importance of education,
Or make a
make it-
timeline where it could suit women.
yeah,
for
it could be easy for us to get that education. They start making this whole excuses and making it all your fault. It's all your fault. And okay, let's say we can take 2 hours out of our schedule and get that education. It's funny that the education that we seek of is not what we get. We get the little education. They say child education. When I say curriculum doesn't change, when we were like young, you were given this statement, like for example, if you're told, oh, eat with your right hands, or go to the toilet, you have to use water. And when you were a child, you're like, oh my god, Ustad, why can we do that? And they're like, oh, Shaitan, when you eat with your right hand, because a child needs like a very playful technique. So when you eat with your right hand, the angels actually helps you and plays with you. But when you eat with your left hand, the Satan takes the food and you will not feel full. So the whole time, well, because I eat with my right hand,
That's right.
that I will be full. But when I eat with my left hand, then I will not be full. We grow up with that mindset. You reach in the certain age when you're 16, now you're questioning, oh, that doesn't make sense scientifically, and we know Islam needs to prove why it says that. So when you go to the ma'alim or the ustad and you ask them, so ustad, I'm really really curious about this statement, why should I eat with my right hand? And they say, well, just eat with your right hand. And you go like, But why? He goes like, you don't need to question them. Just do what Islam says you to do. But that is so wrong.
Yeah.
Because we see that in Islam, that we Muslims, Islam itself is not just to follow.
It's actually,
It's factual. It's a factual religion. You need to prove.
you have to have a proof for it.
You have to prove why we people follow the way we follow. So I think sometimes it's brainwashing in
Yeah.
its peak.
Like, I feel like most of the time, the way you say it is like they will want to tell you what they want you to know to benefit for what they are pushing the agenda for. Not saying all of them do that,
Yeah.
but majority of Muslim men in our society will want to teach you something that they can use it to their benefits in the future. So if you don't have knowledge of what you as a woman, as a Muslim woman, is the role of you as a Muslim woman in the society, it is, they're going to use that in their benefits, where they're going to tell you something and they expect you to just do it blindly without you actually question it, because they say it's the law of whatever it is,
Yeah.
and actually it's not.
We reach in a point like our mothers have to live in a very bad environment, very demeaning environment, very hurtful, and very like they live with the very dangerous men in the name of Islam,
Yeah.
because they do not know their rights. And one of the things that we used to talk with our dad is like, why don't you guys really talk about this and actually question this statement and teach women that they don't really need to experience things like the way they have to experience. And it's because most of the time, if you ask these ladies and you ask them, why do you do the way you do, and they're like, if I don't do it, then I'm going to hell.
I'm going against my religion.
I'm going against my religion. And questioning your religion is not going against it. It's actually learning from it. Allah wants us to learn from it. And once we start learning from it, we see the benefits and why Islam is for us. Islam was brought for us for our benefits. If we cannot learn anything from it, then we're not really following Islam at its best. Because Islam was not just here because it's a religion of following. It was a religion that was to help us humankind to see the world in a better life. And if we can see it and if we cannot learn from it, then we're not really being Muslims. So our women in our society don't even know what their rights are. They don't know what their obligations are in Islam. And so they end up just being a whole
thing.
puppet. It's like, it's so stupid to think that the hijab itself, as Muslim women, the most important thing that we should know about is hijab is not for anybody but for ourselves.
Correct.
How we define hijab is for ourselves. So anyone cannot come to you and tell you how hijab should be when the hijab was not meant for them.
Yeah.
So there is hijab for men, but there is hijab for women. So
women.
I'm speaking on behalf of the hijab for women. So there was a statement that this Ma'alim used to say, a lot of the time you see our brothers in Islam, they will come to the women section.
Yeah.
They will, it's like, why, brother, are you in the women section? You're supposed to be in the men's section. They have their mahram, they have their brothers, their dads, and their mothers to tell them, but you're the first one to come for them. And it comes to a point that it becomes so violent. They push them. They don't want to be looked in the society. It doesn't now look like hijab. It looks like
A source of control.
a source of control. And we come to a point, let us not forget that it's not Islam that is saying this. It's the Muslim men using Islam to their benefit. We can see in our so many life, like we have people who go to a point that they take child marriage, they take enforcement of hijab, they take uh they come to a point of forced marriages, not just child marriage, forced marriages. It comes to violence in the house, domestic violence. It comes to the way of divorce. Those rights are really they're taken away from us because we know knowledge we have no knowledge of them. It's like women don't have rights to tell people what they want as a society. When a woman says she doesn't want to put on hijab,
it's like, no, why would you even say that, right?
Yeah.
But a man is allowed to say, I fall into temptation.
Yeah.
I have looked in women's pictures, sexually pictures, and I fall into temptation. And we understand that. But when a woman says, you know what, I feel like hijab has been so much of a burden to me. I don't think I'm ready yet to put it on.
Isn't real? What the hell is you are so?
Don't you know you uphold this picture for Muslim?
You're not even a Muslim at this point. Take it off and go to hell.
Just at this point, just say you're not Muslim.
Yeah, there's actually a big statement that people they say, you can never have a yes if she can't say no.
Yeah.
So how do you expect her to say yes for hijab if she can't even say no to it? So we need to understand that we as a person, as a woman, you are a person, as a man, you're a person, and a
We are all
giant
person.
we are a person. We're people. Don't judge him. Don't judge him. You're a person. I'm a person. We are all persons. So like we come to a point that we feel like we can look to people's shoes without being in their shoes,
Yeah.
and try to explain what they feel without experiencing how they felt. You can't come and tell people who are mourning and say you're crying too much when you haven't experienced death of a loved one. This is the same example of hijab. You can't come and tell somebody you're not a better Muslim because she didn't put a proper hijab, or she didn't put a hijab at all, because you don't even wear hijab yourself. And you don't know why she is actually going through the way she's going. I feel like Allah wants us to understand him
In our own way.
in our own way. It is the statement that says, it says, Allah sees you how you see him. So if you're gonna see Allah as this aggressive God,
Bitter person.
a bitter God, then that's how Allah is gonna be to you. And if you can see Allah as a merciful person, and that's how Allah is gonna see you. But this is not the same when it comes to gender. In our community, the men in our community are allowed to fall and come back
Pick up
and
himself.
pick up themselves again. But the women, when they fall, it feels like the end of them.
Yeah.
We've been degraded to a point that we're closer to. There is so much hadith, controversial hadith, that are used to demean women in Islam. And to think that it's going to help them to be better Muslim, it actually discouraged them to even being Muslims.
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest hadith that most Muslim men will use is like most women will go to hell. It's very controversial because some people say it might not be sahih. Some people say it doesn't really mean that way, and by meaning that they can explain, but people really explain it directly, like, oh, it's because Muslim women
Fall
into temptation more than men.
And you know what? Funny thing, in the modern society right now, it's so ironic that actually
It's the other way around.
And you know what? Even if you think about it, when you say most Muslim women are going to hell, I don't. You as a person sit down and look at that statement and be like, does it even sound right saying that? Why would you even say women will go to? What did the women do
to you to a point that you prefer them
going to hell?
Are you a home? Anyways, why you? It's like, why do you hate? Why
It feels targeted.
It feels very targeted. Because if you come to a point that you think because a woman is somehow something, like it's an object that it's like a robot.
Yeah.
Once the battery is off,
It feels like a woman doesn't have emotions.
Yeah.
It feels like she was created to be a certain thing. Me and animals, we are in the same
closer
boat.
together.
You could just put me on chains and tell me to walk, and I should do that.
Yeah, and I feel like it's very hypocritical, because that's why I think we were told some hadiths are going to come, and they are going to be hadiths that are written not because the Prophet said it,
them.
but because they want it to be the way it's be. And it should be, the Quran was here, and this is the most beautiful things that we have, the most
biggest
big miracles that
miracles.
we have, is because the Quran came here to actually make it clear to us. So most of the time we use the Quran to actually prove if the hadith is sahih. If it's not going with the what Quran is saying, somehow it could not be sahih. And it's okay to not, some people say don't really go against hadith, but the Rasulullah will not say that if he did not know that it will come a point that things like that will come.
Yeah.
So to come to a point that you hate the whole femininity in itself. And there was this Ma'alim who was speaking about menstrual and shaming the whole menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest statement is that it was a question he was actually asked he was asked, Ustad, well, if we need hijab to cover up, to help us, to help us with protection against gays and bad gays, then why in our household do we still have our fathers, our brothers that are sexually assaulting our sisters in our community? And he says this most stupidest thing ever I've ever heard. And he says, well, as much as he's your dad, he's still a man. That point blank proves that all men, we don't need to, people don't want to say all men, but if you say that as much as he's your father, he's a man, it proves that all men,
Yeah.
So he says, like, as much as it's your father or your brother, he's still a man. And so you should cover up, because a man, Shaitan will come and whisper in his ears, and he might do some things that he doesn't want to do. And so you should actually cover up, which actually goes against Islam,
Because
itself,
these are the people who are told to protect us
from men like that.
The funny thing is, it proves the point where when it comes to men's fault, rather than calling them out, why don't we just close the women? That's how men do that in Islam. It's men's fault. This is their problem. This is their sin that they are holding, right? But rather than questioning them and tell them to be better version of themselves, why don't we just tell women to, hide more, push women to the bricks, close them out, because if they're not there, then we don't have a reason to be who we are.
Yeah.
You're a monster at the end of the day. Rather than calling you out for being a monster, the person you're being a monster to, just take that monster away from him so that he doesn't become a monster.
Yeah, also it's just, and it's not just it's not all men that make this society the way it is. We still have a problem in our community as women. We raise our sons as things that can make mistake. We don't question their mistakes. We just make them, oh, it's a boy thing.
Yeah.
He's just a boy. Come on. But
The way we question our ladies,
it's so different. We're so strict in our girls, and it's a good thing.
yeah.
And that's why we turn out we having good girls around here.
It goes to the point where rather than being strict to boys too, why don't we be stricter for women?
Yeah, let's just be stricter for women. We don't question, for example, if a boy breaks a glass, okay?
Yeah.
You don't tell the boy, well, be careful next time. Breaking a glass is not actually a good thing. You can cut yourself and we might not have more glass. You go like, he's just a boy.
And then you say to a girl, why did you put the glass there?
Yeah, why did you put the glass over there? You could have put the glass in a safer
Now
place.
look at what
Now
Ahmed did. He
look
broke
what
it.
Ahmed did. Ahmed broke the glass because you put the glass on the table.
You see how that statement goes?
And when you don't question Ahmed for breaking the glass, Ahmed will go on growing up thinking that it's okay breaking the glass.
Because she put it there.
Yeah.
If Fatma didn't take the glass there, I wouldn't have broken
the
it.
glass. So let us not pretend that this is not things that are happening in our society.
Yeah.
Let us not close our eyes and pretend that we cannot see it. And it's not just in our community as Muslim. It also happens around us.
Mostly in African communities.
In our society, in our community, we see in Kenya right now, currently, we have a high femicide rate happening in our day to day activity. It's actually even common to see in the news that, oh, a woman was just killed. Yesterday, there's a girl who was stabbed by her lover because he stabbed his wife to death because she came home late. And then, if that was not bad enough, some men in the comment section were saying, well, there's a statement in Swahili, it says, venye inafaa, which it means as it should. Because why did you come late?
Enemy to a woman is another woman. And I feel like that's actually wrong because most of the enemies to women are men. Men will try so much to make things that are bad, that they do that is bad, to look good in society because they should be allowed to do it. So, like the mother thing, for them, it feels like it's nothing to cry off. It's nothing to be feel painful for because it's a woman. A woman doesn't have to feel something like a loss to the society.
And it's funny because there's no different if people hate men or love men.
Yeah.
Bad men will always be bad men.
Yeah.
Regardless of the situation.
Even if you love them, they're gonna still be bad.
Yeah. So let us not assume that things like that are happening in our community. In Kenya right now, the Not All Men movement is so stupid to think of it because people still make rape jokes. People still think rape is funny.
And funny thing, not even rape to women, to kids.
To kids. Recently, there's a very controversial video that's happening. It was just a young child. I think she was 4 years old.
The Somali girl.
Yeah, she was like 4 years old. A Somali child. That's a toddler. She was just making a video with her mom's phone. She stood there and she
wore hadira.
She wore hadira and she's just like a chubby child. I didn't see anything wrong with that. She was a child. But you know what men saw? A potential wife.
A 4-year-old.
I don't understand Somali, but wherever they were saying and the TikTok, what do they call that? The TikTok memes, it was loud and clear.
Yeah, it felt pedophilic.
It was disgusting. The Somali community, women in the Somali community, it was so disturbing. It's still talked upon, and it still goes along that a lot of the time, we as mothers, if mothers will allow their kids to get married to older guys,
I don't think anyone would want that.
no one wants that, so it comes to a point that we women in our society, we are forced to fight for those rights, the rights that are bestowed for us, the rights that are not, we're not demanding more or anything. We're not asking men to die. Okay, we're not asking them to leave this earth. We're just asking them to live, to give us things that we deserve. You want to breathe, I want to breathe too. Things that we deserve. And there's this thing, they say equal rights, equal fights. We don't need to fight for equal rights.
Yeah.
Do we need to come to a point that we need to fight that we deserve equal rights? Equal rights, equal fights movement also emphasizes on violence against women. And I think it still speaks to a point that we don't deny that there's some women out here who are still violent towards men. And they say if they're gonna be violent, if they're gonna get equal rights and I get equal rights, if they're gonna fight me, I might as well fight them. But let us talk about biology. We're talking about two different people with two different body mass, two different physical abilities, and it is just inhumane to think that you defined violence in our homes as somehow because, okay, since you have rights, I might as well have to fight you
Yeah.
because you got rights. It doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't have to be right away. Why don't we just do things? There's this guy who say, why don't we just live as friends and do what is best for us?
Yeah.
Just do what you're good at. Do we have to prove who is
Better.
rightful to do that? Let's just do what you're good at. If you're good at making, if you're good at mining, go mine. If you're good at making a building, make a building.
Why does it have to be something to fight for?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, no one has forced you to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
You do what you love, and that is it. Period. You know, that is another topic, a big talk about it, and we're gonna talk about it one time in our life. But now at this time, we're talking about ladies. Look at the screen. Seek education.
Learn.
Go get that education.
In any way sought.
Find that. Just do not stay there. Rasulullah emphasizes on education, and it was not just, if it was education for men, he would have said just men, but it was education, meaning anyone should seek it. We should learn about ourselves. We should learn about Allah. We should find Islam. And there's this thing about what people say, that Muslim women can't find Islam if it's not for men.
It's
It's
wrong.
wrong.
Islam was not created for a specific gender. Islam was brought for every humanity. Actually, it's not even for human being. Islam was for everything in this world.
Yeah.
Without Islam, I think there will be no balance in the earth. And
Allah knew why women were supposed to be there. If it was just men,
things will have been different.
things would not have happened the way it happened. Those women were the one who raised those prophets, and people don't forget. They forget about that. That part is not important.
It's like that. That's why to conclude to the fact that we don't have to be playing the same roles to have the same value. The prophets had their roles, as well as the women who were behind.
To think because the prophets did what they did, that means men come first.
Yeah.
And women come last. Do we have to fight the love of Allah? Do we have to come to a point that we seek Allah as a transactional thing? I have this statement I used to say is, you don't go to Allah like you go to the bank, being sure that you have $1 million in there and thinking the other one has $1,000. You go there and you're like, I'm gonna transfer myself 50K right now because I got 50K. Allah is not like that. You're not sure even if your deeds are that enough. And that is the most important thing. We as Muslims live in a life of not knowing if we have done enough. So to come to a point that you judge somebody, you question someone's act because you think you have enough to even take you to Jannah, and he will go, and you're sure that they are going to hell because of what they act, then Allah is not for you. Then Allah doesn't even look at you, because that is arrogancy. Allah doesn't like arrogant people. He doesn't like boastful people who think, because if you go to Allah with a transactional life, like I've done enough, then you don't need Allah. You just need your deeds.
The time men are really arrogant when it comes to religion. They feel like Islam was meant for them so much, and that they are being the better version of Muslim than most women. And they scrutinize women so much, forgetting that themselves are Muslim and they are on their own journey too, just like us. And so they forget what they're actually doing wrong in the society, and they're scrutinizing women and forgetting what they're supposed to look at themselves too.
Yeah.
And they think that, oh my God, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you're doing this wrong.
You're focusing so much on teaching people how to be Muslim, you're forgetting
Isn't
that
it
you're
just-
supposed to teach yourself to be a good Muslim.
Yeah. Our dear sisters, go find yourself. Go find your religion. Go read, understand, learn, and be able to know what actually is happening in this world. Don't allow anyone to tell you what it is. Go look it up yourself and know what it is.
Yeah, go look it up. It's not just a religious education. The secular education. And to those men who ask and they're like, I want a female doctor for my women, and you still don't want your daughters to go seek education and get that master degree because you feel like they're gonna become this misogynistic, they're gonna turn out to men, they're gonna wanna be men. Where are you gonna find those female doctors?
Yeah.
Did you ask yourself that? We have less female gynecologists because of that type of mindset.
Yeah.
We have men gynecologists, and they it's not a good thing.
I don't feel like women are comfortable having male
gynecologists, and I don't think all male gynecologists are bad, but they should always be checked because
you don't even know who
you
is
never
there.
know. It's proven a lot of gynecologists or men have turned out to be sex offenders. So people hide in different places. So if you can't allow your kids to go seek the education, the female educations, then come backing and telling people, okay, I don't want my woman to be touched by a man, when you clearly don't want those women to seek education.
It's not.
How do you expect them to have that?
That's why we have so many deaths when it comes to birth of kids.
We have less research on female anatomy.
For what?
For what?
Because I think most people don't take interest in women so much, and I feel like someone who will take more interest in women is a woman. So allow your girls to go there and learn, please. Let them learn, so we will have better hospital facilities and better female autonomy or something. Okay, guys?
We need to understand that Allah wanted us to find Him. Allah wanted us to find Him. He didn't want you to be carried to Him.
Yeah.
He didn't want somebody to push you to Him,
to bring you to Him.
He
if He wanted that, He would have said it a long time ago.
He wanted you, the one you're looking at, to find Him. So go seek Allah. Go find Him. Do not think that you're less. Do not feel ashamed of whatever trials you're going through. We fell down. We're humans. It's bound to happen. The only thing that will make you better than the one who fails is the one who gets up. Get up. Try your best. Be the best of who you want to be.
No matter how many times you fail and feel like you can wake up again, don't lose hope. Don't give up. Even when it comes to anything you've done, you don't think you're good when it comes to your salah, when it comes to wearing proper hijab, when it comes to anything in your life, even when it comes to achieving your goals, you feel like you have not done enough to be successful. Don't feel sorry about yourself. Try. Allah loves people who try. Allah loves people who wakes up one day and be like, I know I didn't fulfill in this place, or I didn't achieve in this place, but it doesn't mean this is the end of my day. I will wake up one day and I'll be the best version of myself, inshallah. And that's all that matters. Try. So yeah.
So, guys, this is a very broad topic.
We talked a lot.
Yeah, and I think we haven't talked enough.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of things to say about, but I think this video is going to be a long video. But inshallah, if we're going to make another video, which will actually be even... It's a broad thing. It's a chart. We start from here, we go deeper.
Yeah, we're building steps.
Yeah.
And if you reach here, please subscribe,
Comment, like, and
hit that notification button.
And we hope to see you next time. This has been Azra Talk, and we will see you next time.
We love you.
Love you. Bye.